Good morning. So today, before we start our flow, I thought I would go over crow pose. Crow pose is a balancing pose. It looks pretty difficult. It's not quite as difficult as it looks like it is, but it is a balance challenge for sure. And while it does require some arm strength, it doesn't really require as much arm strength as it looks like. It's more about balancing. So there's some things you can do to try to make it a little bit easier if you're feeling hesitant to come into crow pose. One of those things is to put lots of pillows around you or practice on a carpet, somewhere that's nice and soft. Another trick is to use a block underneath your forehead. And sometimes that gives you a little extra lift so you can set your head down on the ground and then start to feel what it's like to lift those legs up, making a shelf with your arms. So let me just show you how to do that. To come into crow pose, you want to bring your hands like chaturanga hands. Fingers are open nice and wide, gripping the ground, have a tiny little micro bend in the knuckles. Plant your hands on the mat. And then you bring your feet sort of really close together, popping out the knees wide to the sides, and bend your elbows, tuck them right underneath the kneecaps. Now, if you want to try for a block here, you're going to put a block right underneath your head. Hands are about hip-width distance apart here. And then you just come up onto your tippy toes, and you want to make a shelf with those upper arms. You can, if you want to try to keep your head elevated, you want to bring your gaze about 12 to 18 inches in front of you on the ground. And if you want to try to drop your head down, just so that you have one extra balancing point here, you can just set your head on the block. To start, you probably want to just float one foot at a time, trading off, just feeling what it's like to have that leg on the shelf of the upper arm. And maybe you can bring both feet up. Let me show you also without the block. I'll turn a little bit so you can see a little different point of view here. Bring all the way to your hands. Gently start to shift your weight forward. You're going to bring your upper arms parallel to the ground to make that shelf. And keep your gaze low on the ground in front of you. Lifting your head, looking a little bit forward, just like that. So we'll try to come into crow pose today during our flow. Don't feel bad if you can't lift both of the feet up. It takes a long time to get there sometimes, and it's just one of those challenges. It's fun to try every so often. So let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. Good morning. It's so good to see you guys. So let's start today on our backs. We started in child's pose yesterday, so let's begin on our backs today. You can take a traditional shavasana with your arms and legs flat. Or you can take one of those other options for the legs, bringing your legs into easy pose, bringing the feet up and letting your knees fall in towards each other. Just wherever you find the most comfort. Close your eyes. Let yourself settle into the ground. Feel the ground supporting you, underneath you. Notice all the points of contact that your body makes with the earth. We have lots of curves all over our bodies, so you'll notice somewhere on the upper back is touching the ground, maybe your hips, different spots along the legs and the arms, the back of the head. And let yourself just sink into those points just a little bit. Start to focus on your breath here. Stretching your breath out. Taking nice, long, deep, full breaths. Start to find your yoga breath, the Ujjayi breath. Constricting the throat just a little bit. Listen for your breath in the back of your head, sounding like the ocean, moving in and out. Let the sound of your breath fill your mind completely, pushing away all other thoughts and bringing you fully present here, now, into your body. Start to do your body scan from the crown of your head, working your way through the back of your neck, into your shoulders, down through the arms, into your elbows, wrists, and fingers, and then through your spine, all along the back, down to your hips, and through the legs, knees, ankles, and toes. As you go through, just make a note of how you feel today. Notice anything that's different, any sore spots. Maybe you're feeling particularly great today, ready to try new things. Maybe you slept funny and there's an area of discomfort that you want to be extra careful of. Remind yourself of any injuries, old or new, that might affect your abilities to come into a pose today. And remember that every body is different. Each of us carries our own physical history, a unique genetic code, which means that everybody will look different when coming into a pose and feel different. And the most important thing is to meet your body where it is right now, respecting all of those past injuries, finding your edge in each pose. Remember that you can always take a break or modify in a way that's right for you. And just make this practice your own. Take a few more deep, full breaths here. Just being inside of your body. Blink your eyes open. Draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lift your forehead up to your knees, curling into a tight little ball, squeezing everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. Find your kneecaps with your hands and do some circles in the sky. Give your lower back a little massage on the ground. And find circles going in the other direction. Keeping your right knee up to your chest, let your left leg slide back down to its spot on the mat, and then open out the right knee towards the right. Left arm comes out to the side. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the right knee to help it stay down, and then bring your gaze over to your left hand. On your next inhale, lift your right knee up to center. Exhale, drop it across the body, down towards the left. Right arm comes back out to the right. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the right knee to help it stay down. Then bring the gaze to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Bring your right knee back up to your chest. Left knee comes to join it. One more time, wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, forehead comes up to the knees. Cannonball, squeeze everything tight. Release your head back down to the mat. Keep your left knee up to your chest and let your right leg slide back down to its spot. Open out the left knee towards the left. Try to find as close as you can to a 90-degree angle on the knee and the hip. Left fingertips tuck inside the crease of the left knee to help the leg stay down to the ground. Bring your gaze over to your right hand. On your next breath in, lift your left knee up to center. Exhale, cross it over the body, dropping it down towards the right. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee. Bring your left hand out to the side. Gaze comes to the left hand. Release your right hand out from your knee. Bring your left knee back up to your chest. Right knee comes to join it. Last time, wrap your arms around your legs. Deep breath in. Exhale, lifting your forehead up to your knees. Curl into a tight little ball. Release your head back down to the mat. Drop your feet down to the mat. You're going to come into a bridge pose. We're going to hold our bridge pose this time. Plant your hands flat on the mat so your middle fingers are just touching the backs of the heels. Inhale, rooting down through the feet. Lift your hips up towards the sky. Interlace your fingers underneath your back. And then scoot your shoulders even closer together to lift even higher. Feel a nice stretch in the belly. Stay really strong in the legs. One last deep breath in, pushing even higher. Exhale, release one vertebrae at a time. Back down to the mat. Lift your feet up. Tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees. And rock and roll forward and back along your spine a few times. Making your way into easy pose. Kind of like sitting crisscross applesauce. If it's accessible to you, try to open up your feet so that nothing's overlapping. If not, that's okay too. Inhale, lifting your hands up high. Exhale, folding over the feet, hinging from the hips, keeping a nice long spine as you go down. Relax your forehead towards the ground once you find your edge. And round out through the back. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest, float your hands all the way up overhead. Interlace your fingers, and then turn your palms, pointing up towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, stretching down towards the right. Back up to center, breathing in. And to the left as you breathe out. Back to center, inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down to your lap. Switch your feet, whichever leg's in front, push it to the back. Back leg comes out in front, so your legs are crossed the awkward way. It's a little bit funny here. One more time, folding over the feet. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, folding forward, hinge from the hips. Keep your spine really long as you go down. And once you find your edge, relax your head and neck, around out through the back. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lift up your chest, float your hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, twisting around to the right. Right fingers come behind you, left hand crosses over the right knee. Lengthen your spine to breathe in. Go deeper into your twist, bending your elbows as you breathe out. Come back to center on a breath in, hands float up. Exhale, twisting around to the left, left fingers behind you, right hand crosses over the left knee. Take a deep breath in, stretching the spine up long. And as you exhale, go deeper into your twist. Come back to center, breathing in, hands come up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Make your way to your hands and knees, tabletop, rolling over the knees or swinging the legs around to the side. And then adjust. Make sure your wrists come right underneath the shoulders and the knees come right underneath the hips. Start to move through cat-cow, warming up the belly and the spine. Inhale, drop your belly down, pull your shoulders back, bring your gaze up or forward. Exhale, pushing the back up towards the ceiling. One vertebrae at a time. Relax your head and neck down, drop your gaze through your knees. Keep moving just like that with your breath. Find a nice, constant, slow motion here. Take your whole breath to complete each motion. Come back to a neutral spine as you breathe in. Exhale, coming into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift the hips up. You can move around here a little bit. Find a nice, comfortable down dog position. We're still warming up, so we're moving nice and slow. You can bend one knee down towards the mat, and then the other. Getting the blood flowing through the legs, hips, and feet. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure your shoulder blades are moving down the back, out of the ears, towards the hips. You can push your chest back towards the knees. Getting a nice stretch in the back and the arms. Head and neck should just be dangling down towards the ground. If you're not quite sure if your head and neck are dangling, you can just give it a little wiggle. Take a deep breath in, coming all the way up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, send your heels over to the right. Hips lean a bit to the right. Maybe you feel a nice stretch here on the left side of the body. Come back up to center, tippy toes. Big breath in. Exhale, drop your heels down towards the left. Hips can lean a bit to the left. Come back to center, tippy toes. Deep breath in. Exhale, pushing your heels down towards the mat. Don't worry, they get all the way there. Just reaching in that direction. Feel a nice stretch on the back of the legs. Let's do 3 sun salutations, moving with the breath. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hopper step right between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in, bringing the torso parallel to the ground. Forward fold as you breathe out, relaxing the upper body down. Rising up to standing on a breath and bend your knees, let your arms dangle down till your head comes up and then float them overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch, inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down towards the right. Up to center, breathing in. And to the left as you breathe out. Inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, standing back bend. Cactus the arms or bring your hands to your back pockets. Straight back up on a breath in. Exhale, diving forward, hinging from the hips, keeping the nice long spine as you go down. Half lift, breathing in, bring your hands to shins or float them over the ground. Exhale, double dip, turn around, plant your hands, hopper step your feet back. If you like, you can drop the knees down to the mat here, lower down halfway, don't go below the elbows, back up, breathing in. And down again as you breathe out, up, downward cobra on a breath in. If your legs are on the ground, keep a bend in the elbows. Exhale, tucking your toes, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Second sun salutation, we're going to start our side stretch to the left first. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, hopper step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift as you breathe in. Forward fold, breathing out. Come all the way up to standing on your next breath in. Roll your spine, stacking your vertebrae one at a time. Lift your hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Side stretch again. Inhale, hands high. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down towards the left. Up to center as you breathe in. And down to the right as you breathe out. Up to center, inhale. Standing back bend. Exhale, be really gentle with the neck. Come back up, breathing in. Exhale, diving forward, keeping your spine really long, going down. Half lift to breathe in. Pull the shoulders down the back to open up the chest. Exhale, double dip, plant your hands. Hopper step back to your high plank. Lower down halfway. Try to bring the soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you as you're lowering down. Up, dog or cobra to breathe in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. One last sun salutation, straight up and down, this time no side stretch. Bend your knees, lift your hands, big breath in. Exhale, hopper step right up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold to breathe out. Inhale, coming up to standing nice and slow. Take your whole breath to get here. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. I know I sound like I have a cough, and I do, but I'm okay. Don't worry. Going back down. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out however you like it. Hands. And exhale, roll over your toes, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Lift your right foot high, take a big breath in. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, shoulders come right over the wrist. Foot goes back up on a press in. Exhale, tap your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, sending your heel high. Exhale, cross it over, tap it to the left elbow. Send your foot straight back up on a breath in. And step your foot through between your hands as you breathe out. Rising up on an inhale to crescent lunge. Both toes pointing straight forward. Feet are a little bit apart here, kind of on two different train tracks. If your feet are lined up, one directly behind the other in crescent lunge, it will be very difficult to balance. So you want to open up that stance a little bit. Back heel's lifted, front knee is right over the ankle. Nice deep bend in that front knee. And hands are up, turn the pinkies in. Let's do 3 knee dips here with the breath. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, dip your left knee towards the ground, cactus your arms. If it feels okay, you can do a gentle back bend. 2 more times. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, dip your left knee down. It can be a tiny bend or a whole lot. One last time. Just go with your breath. Inhale, coming up to crescent lunge. Exhale, opening out to warrior 2. Pivot your back foot around, drop the heel down to the mat. Peek down at your feet. Front heel should be intersecting the back heel or the back arch. Hips are now open towards the long edge of the mat, and arms are stretching straight forward and back. Peek at the back hand, make sure it's nice and high. And then gaze comes right over the front middle finger. Let's do our yoga jumping jacks with the breath. Inhale, straighten out the front knee, bring your hands up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior 2. 4 more times, just going at your own pace. Let your breath be your guide. 3, 2, and last one. Straighten out the front knee, drop your hands down to your hips, and turn your right toes toward the long edge of the mat. Coming into Prasarita, wide-legged forward bend. Peek down at your feet, line up your feet so that your pinky toe edges come parallel to each other. Pull your elbows towards each other behind your back, puff up the chest, take a big breath in here. Exhale, folding forward, hinge from the hips. Nice long slide as you go down. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck and release your hands down to the ground. You can adjust your feet as needed. For some reason, my feet always want to go a little bit wider when my hands come down to the ground. And then start to crawl your hands forward. Feel a nice stretch in the arms and the back and the legs, but keep the shoulder blades moving down the back towards the hips, out of the ears. And now walk your hands through your feet, turning your fingertips around so they're pointing in the opposite direction behind you. And crawl your fingers back. See how far out behind you you can comfortably crawl those fingers. Just listening to your body, find your own edge. Notice that stretch on the back of the legs intensifies the farther you get those fingers out behind you. Walk your hands back to center. Bring both hands right underneath your face. Weight comes to both of your hands to bend your knees and pull your heels in towards each other. Inhale, rising up to starfish. Exhale, opening out, warrior two. Take a big breath in here. On your breath out, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Send your right heel high, breathing in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Keep that foot up if you like, or drop it down to the mat, or drop the knees down. Up dog or cobra, breathing in, pulling the chest through the shoulders. Exhale to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Let's take a little break before we do that on the other side. Drop your knees down to the mat, make your way to child's pose. You can have your knees together, or you can bring some space between them. Relax your forehead down towards the ground. You can stretch your hands out in front of you or wrap them back towards the feet. Whatever feels the most comfortable. If child's pose is not comfortable for you, you're always welcome to find a different way to rest here. Close your eyes. Reconnect with the breath. Feel the texture and the temperature of the breath. Notice that nice cool feeling on your inside your nose as you breathe in. And the warm sensation breathing out. If your hands are back towards your feet, bring them back out in front of you. On a breath in, lift your chest up, coming to hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's try that sequence on the left. Left heel comes up high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bringing the knee to the nose, shoulders right over the wrists. Foot goes back up, breathing in. And tap your left knee to your left elbow as you breathe out. Inhale, sending your left heel high. Exhale, cross it over, tap it to the right elbow. Straight back up on a breath in. And step your foot through between your hands as you breathe out. Rising up on an inhale to crescent lunge. Feet are on two different train tracks, both toes pointing forward, back right heel is lifted, front knee, nice deep bend, directly over the ankle, hips squared off towards the front, towards that short end of the mat, and the hands are up. Pinkies turned in to keep the shoulders moving down the back. 3 knee dips. Remember, you can dip that knee really low, or you can just dip it a tiny little bit, whatever feels right for you. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, dipping the right knee towards the ground, cactus the arms. 2 more times with your breath. Inhale to come up. Exhale, dipping the right knee down. Last one. Back up to crescent lunge, breathing in. And open out to warrior two as you breathe out. Pivot the back foot around, drop the heel down. Check on your feet. Back toes pointing straight towards the long edge of the mat. Front knee is still right over the ankle. Peek on the back hand, bringing it nice and high. And bring your gaze over your front middle finger. Again, 5 yoga jumping jacks going at your own pace with your breath. Inhale, knees straight arms up. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more. I'm just counting so you know where I am. You should go at your own pace. 3, 2. Prasarita, wide-legged forward bend, straighten out the front knee. Turn the left toes toward the long edge of the mat. Drop your hands to your hips. And line up your pinky toe edges, bringing the big toes ever so slightly turned inward. This time, inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, sweep your hands back behind you and release your fingers. Push down, puff up the chest. Take a deep breath in. Fold forward as you breathe out. Nice and slow, keeping a nice long spine going down. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck and peel the arms off the back. Push through your hands up towards the ceiling. Pulling the shoulder blades down the back, out of the ears. And take one more big breath in here. And release. Let your hands slide down your legs, coming to stop wherever they feel okay. If you can reach all the way down to the feet, you can tuck your fingers underneath the pinky toe edges of the feet. And then maybe bend your elbows out to the sides to come even deeper into your fold. Release your hands out from under your feet. Bring both hands right underneath your face. Weight comes to both of your hands to bend your knees and pull your heels in towards each other. Inhale, rising up to starfish. Exhale, warrior two. Take one more breath in here. On your breath out, cartwheel hands down, framing the front foot. Send your left heel high, breathing in. Exhale, double dip chaturanga, however you like it. Up dog or cobra to breathe in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Another little break. That's a challenging sequence. You deserve a little rest here. Make your way into child's pose. Relax your forehead down towards the ground. Find your nice, strong, deep breath again here. Lengthening the breath. Giving your body nice, big gulps of oxygen. If your knees are together, put a little bit of space between them and come into puppy pose. Start to crawl your fingertips forward and lift your hips up. Chin or chest reaches down towards the mat. Your hips can come right above the knees or just behind. Feel a nice gentle back bend here, stretching the belly out. On your next breath in, bring your hands back, lifting up your chest and make your way to your hands and knees tabletop. Bring the knees together to touch. Send your right foot straight out behind you like you're stamping it into a wall. If that's enough, you can stay right there. If you want a little bit more, left arm stretches out, reaching forward. Take a big breath in, stretching your arm and leg really long. And release back down to the mat as you breathe out, switching sides. Left foot comes up behind you like you're stamping it into the wall. If that's enough, stay right there. If you want more, right arm reaches up as well, fingers stretching out in front of you. Take a big breath in, reaching really long. And exhale, release. Let's keep going like that, switching sides 3 more times on each side. Inhale, lifting the right leg and the left arm. Exhale, release back down to the mat. Just go with your breath. You don't have to stay with me at your own pace. Inhale, right arm and left leg. Exhale, releasing back down to the mat. 2 more times at your own pace. And last one. And when you're finished, come back to your hands and knees tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, and downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or stuck between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold. As you breathe out, bring your hands next to your feet on the ground, or if you can't reach all the way down to the ground, you can always have some blocks there underneath your hands at any height. Try to turn your fingertips around so your fingers are pointing in the opposite direction of your toes, and then push down through the curve in the bottom of the palm to feel a nice stretch on the inside of the arms. Head and neck are really relaxed here. On your next breath in, bend your knees, roll your spine up to standing nice and slow. Lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Let's come into eagle pose. And we start by making our way into chair. You can have your big toes touching with some space between the heels, or you can bring your feet on 2 different train tracks. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, sitting back down into your chair. I'm going to mirror you here, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring your hands to heart center to set up for eagle. Lift your right foot up and cross your right leg over your left so that your right thigh is right on top of the left. Try to wrap those right toes toward the back of the left leg. If they don't get very far around, that's okay. Just reaching in that direction. And if you like, you can include your arms. Right arm comes underneath the left. Twist your hands around, match your palms up, and then lift your elbows up so that your elbows come parallel with your shoulders and bounce the gaze off the forearms. Try to sit up really straight and tall. Feel the crown of your head stretching up towards the sky. On your next inhale, unwind, arms come up, lift your left knee up, right knee up. And exhale, release, hands together in front of your heart. Wiggle it out, shaking out the legs. Let's try it on the other side. Set up how you like your feet for a chair. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, pushing your hips down and back, coming into chair pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Lift your left leg up and cross your left leg over your right. Left thigh right on top of the right one. Wrap those left toes around, reaching towards the back of the leg. You can keep your hands here at heart center. You can include your arms. Left arm comes underneath the right. Wrap your arms around and match your palms up, and then lift your elbows up. Bringing the elbows, reaching towards parallel with the shoulders. It's okay if they don't get all the way there. Balance the gaze off the forearms. Stretch your spine up long. Crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. On your next inhale, unwind. Left knee comes high. Arms float up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Set that left foot down. Wiggle it out. Coming into hand to foot pose. Feet come hip width distance apart on the mat. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, diving forward with a nice long spine as you go down. Relax your head and neck down, 1 foot at a time. Lift up your toes and slide your hand underneath the foot so that the palm of the hand is touching the sole of the foot and the toes are resting right in the crease of Once you've got both hands underneath, you can bend one knee and then the other. You can bend your knees as much as you need to get the hands all the way under the feet. If you want to come deeper into your fold, you can bend your elbows out to the side to bring the chest even closer into the legs. Release your hands out from under your feet. Weight comes to both of your hands. Heel till your feet back together again. Bend your knees. Inhale, rising up to standing nice and slow. Hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Let's try a modified hand to big toe pose here. And bring all weight to your left foot. Again, I'm mirroring you, so I'm going to be doing the opposite side. Lift your right knee up, and then interlace your fingers outside of the knee. If this already feels like enough, already feeling challenged, you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, bring your left hand to your hip and start to open out the right knee towards the right. You can always bring that left hand up as well to help with the counterbalance. And if you're feeling pretty flexible, maybe you want to reach for the pinky toe edge of the right foot and try to straighten out that leg. Definitely want to bring the left arm up to help with counterbalance here. Feel your body rocking back and forth, side to side on the arch of that left foot. That's totally normal. One more big breath in here. And release as you breathe out. Shake it all out. Try it on the other side. All weight comes to the right foot. Lift your left knee up. Interlace your fingers outside of the knee. Already feeling a challenge? Just stay right here. Want a little bit more? Right hand comes to the hip. Open out the left knee towards the left. You can bring the right hand out to the side as well. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you're feeling pretty flexible on that left leg, and you can reach for the pinky toe edge of the foot. Start to straighten out that leg. Definitely want to lift that right arm up as well. And take one more big breath in. And release. Shake it out. We're going to come into our Malasana deep squat, and we're going to try crow pose. If you feel like it, no pressure. Bring your feet nice and wide, toes out, heels in. Feet are about the width, maybe a little bit wider than the width of your mat. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands come to heart center, sit nice and low into your squat. You can open up your feet as much as you need to get your heels to touch the ground. Push your knees out with your elbows, straighten up your spine. And let's try to come into crow pose here. If you have a block, you can stick that block down so it's going to come underneath your forehead. Plant your hands on the mat, chaturanga hands, fingers open nice and wide, gripping the ground with your hands. Bring your feet together and pop your knees out to the sides. And then bend your elbows, tuck the elbows right underneath the kneecaps. And start to shift your weight forward onto those upper arms. You can just float one foot at a time, trading back and forth. Or maybe you can float both of those feet. Maybe you can drop your forehead down to the block. Keep your gaze in front of you, a few inches on the ground. Don't forget to breathe. When you're ready, release, drop your feet back down to your mat. Bring your hands to heart center. Push your knees out one more time, stretching your spine up really long. Take a big breath in. And release, making your way to a seat. Coming into staff pose, send your legs out long in front of you. Hands come by your sides. Rock your hips side to side so that you can tuck your thumbs underneath you just a little bit. Lift up on your spine. Feel the crown of the head stretching up towards the sky. Push your knees down towards the mat, but make sure your heels are still touching the mat. Flex your toes, bringing the toes toward the face. The whole body is really active here. Try to keep everything else exactly where it is. Release your hands. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Nice long spine, reaching for the feet. Relax your head and neck down over your knees. Now, if you feel like this is really uncomfortable, way too deep of a bend, you can use a block here. Stick the block in between your legs, and you can just rest your forehead on that block. Sometimes if your back really hurts, you got a lot of pain there, you can even stack the blocks one on top of the other for a little bit of a higher spot to rest your forehead. And then you can just have your hands resting on the sides of your legs here. It's a little bit more of a restorative resting pose here. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips, and then bring your knees up. Your knees are pointing towards the sky, gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. Releases the hips. Coming into half fish pose. Once again, send your legs out long in front of you. Bend your right knee, pointing the knee up towards the sky, and cross it over the left leg. You can leave your left leg where it is, or you can bring your weight over to the left and bend your left knee, wrapping it around the hips. Right fingertips come behind you. With your left hand, either hug that front knee or inhale your hand up. And exhale, tuck your elbow outside of the knee. Release your arms, plant both hands on your left side and tap your forehead down for a counter twist. Lift your chest up, breathing in. Wiggle out the legs and switch sides. Left knee comes up, pointing towards the sky. Cross it over the right leg. Right leg stays where it is, or bring your weight over to the right and bend your right knee, wrapping it around the hips. Left fingertips come right behind you. Right arm can either hug that front knee or inhale the hand up. And exhale, tuck the elbow outside of the knee. Release your arms, plant both hands on your right side and tap your forehead down. Inhale, pushing your chest up. Wiggle out your legs and come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, take a big breath in. Exhale, cannonball, lifting your forehead up to your knees, squeeze everything tight. Release your head back down to the mat. Put your legs in a tabletop, 90 degrees in the knees and hips. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, drop your knees down together to the right, all the way to the floor. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the left knee to help them stay down. Left hand comes out to the side, bring the gaze over to the left hand. Release your right hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center everything in. Exhale, dropping them down together towards the left, trying to keep that 90-degree angle on the knees and hips. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the right knee. And bring your gaze over to your right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center everything in. Happy baby pose. Hold outside the knees with the knees bent. Or open up your feet and reach for the pinky toe edges of the feet. Gently rock side to side, pushing your tailbone down towards the mat. You can also straighten out one leg and bend the other knee. Then straight back and forth like that a couple times. And release. If there's any last pose you'd like to do that we didn't get to in class, you can take that now. Maybe shoulder stand or cow pose. And if not, just start to make your way back into Shavasana. Maybe you want to try the Shavasana version with your soles of your feet together and the knees pointing out to the sides. It's called Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined round angle. Or just have your legs in easy pose, or maybe you're just feeling like being flat on the ground, arms and legs straight out. Lift your heart up and pull the shoulders down the back. Bring the chin into the chest and rock your head side to side. And just let your head fall back to its natural center point. Hands can be by your sides, palms facing up or down. Or you can bring your hands to your heart and your belly. Close your eyes here once you've found a nice, comfortable position. Release your body. We're not holding tension. Release your breath, making your way back to natural breathing. And release your mind, just watching your thoughts come and go, like clouds in the sky on a windy day. You see them, and then they blow away and disappear to be replaced by something new. Find a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Blink your eyes open. Start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you all so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste.